Well, hello and welcome to the Hot Author Showcase. My name is Angel Tuccy. I am a publishing coach and super excited to introduce you to one of our hottest authors. Actually, I should call this the spicy author showcase, because when you learn more about our next author, Jen Perez, you're going to definitely want to spice up your bookshelf with her newest book. I was going to say 29 ways. I don't know where that number came from. 69 ways. I'm just making stuff up, right? 69 ways that money is like sex. I actually don't know if it'll filter us out for that or not. But anyways, it's a fantastic spicy book. Jen's a fantastic spicy author. Somebody you definitely want in your tribe, in your circle, to get to know her. I've had the biggest pleasure watching this girl just light up rooms everywhere she goes. As soon as people discover the title of her book, they just flock to her, and you're going to want to flock to her as well. You can follow up with Jen at her website, thespicyceo.com / checklist. And that's going to plug you into getting a copy of her book, 69 Ways Money is Like Sex. Again, I'm Angel Tuccy. They call me the Book Angel, because not only do I help you publish your book, I help you get booked on podcasts doing that international or virtual book tour. So if you've ever thought about publishing your book, sharing your story, getting your message out into the world through the power of publishing, make sure you check out my website. Follow me at needaguest.com. That's needaguest.com. That's actually going to plug you into my Facebook community, where we connect you directly with podcast hosts. It's a free networking group connecting guests with hosts and hosts with guests. But let's get into our hot author showcase, our spicy author showcase. Jen Perez, how are you doing today?
Hello, great, Angel. And actually, I have a new nickname for you. I call you the finisher.
Ooh, right? I love it. I love it.
If you've ever thought about writing a book, you definitely make sure it gets finished. You complete it. You get it done.
I love being called the finisher, right? And this is one of those things that so often we put it off, and you need somebody that's just going to encourage you, hold you accountable, give you the next steps, and just the map and the guideline to taking that to fruition. And we'll talk about your journey, because you finished pretty darn quickly, but you had this idea before you even came into my world. But before we get into the book, let's get into knowing Jen. Give us a little background about Jen, where you live, how you serve your clients, and then we'll get into the juicy pieces of your book. But yeah, tell our audience about yourself.
Yeah, so I live in the DFW Metroplex in Texas, if you're not familiar with that, the north side of Dallas. And I'm married with 4 children, blended family, ages, actually tomorrow it'll be age range from 3 to 25. So my youngest turns 3 tomorrow. And we are a blended family, but it's let's just say it's fun. My husband started over when he met me, so we've got 2 little ones and 2 older ones, but it's a nice gap and break as well. So I started my business back in 2016, but I was a bookkeeper wearing all the 14 different hats, right, that you are when you own a business. And that's grown. This was on the side of corporate world. I went full-time entrepreneur in 2022. And it's just honestly one of the best decisions I ever made. I think once you go entrepreneur and business owner, it's very difficult to ever go back, even when you feel like you need to. It just pushes you to want to do more in business. And so I'm a very, what you might call, outgoing accountant. So I am someone that loves to educate people on the numbers in their business. Bookkeeping to me got boring after a while. Yeah, it's something you need. You have to have the numbers, but a lot of people didn't understand the numbers or knew how to use that to leverage it and make better decisions in their business to grow, scale, reach whatever their goals are. That's when I really looked into Profit First, which is a cash flow method, became a certified Profit First professional in 2019. And long story short, I've been doing that over the years, and I've finally found my sweet spot in that my passion's the coaching and consulting. I love helping people understand it without having to use that corporate accounting jargon, right? Most people, unless they're in that space, either they don't know the words, they're like, what does that mean, right? ROI, to me, that's simple, return on investment, but not everybody understands that or even what that means. So for me, I take not only my experience as a business owner, built a bookkeeping firm to 6 figures from word of mouth only, without advertising, without really marketing the company, leveraging people to help scale that, and even taking it another step further. But I'm now at the point where I can do what I love, and having a book like this to be able to get even out there even more and put it in a spicier, funner, I don't know, more fun way. But money is sometimes a taboo topic. People don't want to talk about it, right? And it's kind of scary to some people. And so I wanted to make sure that it's something where you have to have that trust factor. I love teaching my people about it, but I get it. I get to see what's behind closed doors. I get to see how much you're paying yourself or not, how much debt you have, how much in sales you're making. I get to see those numbers. But the thing is, we've all started from zero and we all have different backgrounds, but I've probably been there before. I've made a lot of mistakes. In fact, a lot of those mistakes I mentioned in the book, because I want that to be a lesson to you instead of me just keeping that all to myself. Like, I made all these mistakes. Don't go do that. But I have just been, this year has been amazing. And the book has been a huge part of that because it also created me as the spicy CEO. I've always, honestly, sex was more of an open topic than money growing up. My degree is in sociology, but with the minor in human sexuality. So I've always tried finding a way to kind of marry those two, right? Money and sex. How do you do that without it being weird? And it's just something that I have a passion for. I have a great, amazing team on the bookkeeping side, so I can go be at places like here. And a huge thanks to Angel for getting me on some stages and telling me what I need to do to get in front of the rooms I need to get into. And now I get to do what I love, and that's educate and consult people on helping them reach their goals too.
Can't you just feel her passion coming through? Like, she is definitely in her lane. She is not your boring bookkeeper. She is super exciting. She's super fun. Interesting. A couple things, right? When you talked about, once you decided to be your own business, I tell people all the time, Jen, I'm completely unemployable. I would make a terrible employee. I want to work my own hours. I want to make my own decisions, right? I want to go with my own flow. I want to do my own thing. And so completely unemployable for years. My mom is just, she's baffled that, I can sit here and do Zoom calls all day and call it work. But I didn't know this about you. I didn't realize, but we do profit first too. And somebody had introduced me to that a few years ago. And it's like, well, what a novel concept, right? Like, pay yourself first, right? I'm like, okay. And so really, really valuable, really good stuff. And then her personal brand, look how it has launched her, right? She's not, just any accountant, right? And she's not any bookkeeper, and it's not just anything about numbers, but the spicy CEO, you see her coming in her red dress. You've got that red stiletto on your book cover. And it's easier for now. You've got that personal brand, you've got that business brand, that professional brand for people to find you, to talk about you, to recommend you. And it's like really like two taboo topics that you brought together and just put it out on the front porch. And I think that's part of why people are so excited. Like, we can talk about this, right? Out loud and to each other and in public. What a novel concept. So so now let's get into the book a little bit more, right? It's 69 ways money is like sex. Where did the idea come from, or how did the layout come? Like, walk us through the process.
So the story of it is in the book, but in real short, brief layout of it, I was doing a lot of networking. That's where I got a lot of my business, but I wasn't getting very much. I was doing all the right things. I was networking, sending referrals, getting to know people, building those relationships, but yet nobody was referring business to me. So I pulled a friend aside and said, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, why are people not sending business to me when I have built these relationships? I thought I'm pretty clear of what I do. And she said, Jen, it's like seeing a gynecologist for the first time. It's like, okay. And she said, well, you go in, you don't know what to expect. You're afraid they're going to judge you. They're going to see what's behind closed doors, right? All of these emotions, that's the same with money. And so that taught me that I had to learn how to build that trust factor. And it's funny because I use that analogy in like a 30-second commercial. Everybody's heads went up, phones went down. I had the whole room. I'm like, okay, I'm on to something here. So I just tested the waters on different things. And it wasn't until Another time I was told how to do like YouTube videos, which I still need to start doing, to be honest. But when you do that, find something that's a hobby that you're passionate about and bring that into your business, no matter what you do, right? Because if you're passionate about it and you're happy about it, it's going to be a lot more exciting, even if it's something as boring as bookkeeping. So I pulled the lady aside, Marley, and I said, what about sex? Because I'm a businesswoman running a household with two littles. Like, I don't have time for a hobby, to be honest. My hobby is running a business. I love what I do. And so she's like, totally got to do that. So again, I just played with the waters and tested the theory, and it just kept expanding on it. And it wasn't really until I went to a conference that Scott McCain spoke at, and he said he taught us about the taxi story, which if you YouTube, that's out there. And it's how to be creatively different, right? What makes him different than an Uber driver? And so I'm like, okay, that's my biggest thing. What makes me different than any other consultant, any other bookkeeper? In fact, to be honest, I'm not really under in either one of those. I'm more of like, if you had a business strategist and a fractional CFO and they had a baby, that would be me. So I never felt like I fit into one little category. But how do I portray that to people? So that idea was taught about how to write a book for like the gazillionth time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I did write an ebook that weekend. Totally not related to this, but I ended up having an idea. I was like, oh, I'll just do a quick quote book. But money is like sex was top of mind because I've been testing the waters. So I was like, okay, I'll just do 100 ways money is like sex, have those different ways. And there's my book, right? It's a lead magnet. And then I was like, wait a second, why 100? Let's do 69. That just makes more sense, right? So we did that. And then I started realizing I'm not giving enough. I want to add value. And that's why I created the book to have one way per page or chapter. So it's a really quick, easy read. An airplane read is what we call it, because I want quick wins. I want just simple things, simple tasks you can take away from it. There's mindset. There's my mistakes, your lesson. There's things that you can actually take action on right now. In fact, I had someone tell me that the biggest thing they got out of that book is they need to increase their prices and that they need to go read Profit First. He's like, you should be getting paid for this. And I was like, I mean, I am in a way. There's a way around that. But that is something I really believe in. And I love it when Mike Michalowicz, who wrote Profit First, he actually endorsed this book. It's on the back cover. And when I had talked to him about the title, I wanted to be sure it was okay, because you never know. And he was like, I can't remember the exact words, but he's like, that is brilliant. He was so excited about the title because it's different. So that's kind of how the book came about. To be honest, I had the idea, was playing with it, had some content, and then I just kind of stopped. That was September, a little over a year ago, September of 24. And then I kind of slacked through the holidays. And then in March is when I met Angel and decided, you know what, I'm going to get this book done. And I think I finished in like 60 days. Excuse me, or something like that.
And you did. You came out of the gate just running. You're like, I am ready. I've been putting it off. I'm ready to finally get this done. And I love that what a perfect person to endorse the book, right? And so if you think about the stories that are inside of you, I think she's just so inspiring. Like, if she can do this, and even though she put it off, and she's trying to figure out like what bucket does she fit into. I mean, we've all felt that way. So go and create your own bucket, right? Create your own category and let it flow out of you and stop fighting it. And so when it finally came to be with the red stiletto and the 69 and the money and the whole thing, it's just this beautiful blend of everything that is Jen. And so to brand it and to have her as the spicy CEO and to have this book, can't you just picture her on stage? Can't you just picture like her being on a billboard in Times Square, like the whole 9 yards, right? Everything. The book is 69 Ways Money is Like Sex, thespicyceo.com/checklist. Go there, enroll. She'll send you a link to go and buy the book. You can also go and buy it at her bookstore, but why not go and get all her free goodies as well at thespicyceo.com/checklist. Jen, what's been the most rewarding thing about publishing your book and bringing this to the market?
I feel like that's changed over time, and it's only been maybe not even a little over 3 months since I published. But people are opening up, whether it's in social media groups or in person. They are coming to me, and I'm going to be very honest. Some people come to me and start talking about the sex side instead of the money side. That's okay. That's not the intent of it. But the fact that they all of a sudden feel comfortable talking to me, that was my whole point, is I want people to feel comfortable talking to people about these topics. The book is geared around money, but I feel like the world, the way things are right now, at least in America, you need to talk to your partners. You need to talk to your advisors. You need to have people in your corner, your support system, to talk about this, because especially as a business owner, you're alone in many different ways. You start off as a solopreneur, and even if you have a spouse that's with you in your company, sometimes taking emotions out of decisions helps to make the best decisions ever. So it's just something that my goal was to get, if you could read this and can get just one thing out of it, then that made my day. It started off as, just a lead magnet to get out there. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm getting goosebumps talking about this. I feel like it's actually making an impact on people more than I had anticipated, that it's even more exciting, because I'm now seeing the people that have read it and pointing things out to me. And that's what's exciting. It's not just it's no longer a lead magnet to get me on stages or whatnot. While that helps, it's a lead magnet, but also a tool that people can now go to, quickly read. If they're like, I want to go to page 24 or 37 or whatever, they can read one chapter a day if you want, it just was something that I wanted to, the reason's been changing over time, just because it's doing not what I expect. I did not expect it to be, I don't want to say this big, but it's grown a lot bigger than I had anticipated, in a good way.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Hold on. Let me come back to hold on.
Well, while you're doing that, though, I will say I'll never forget when you and I first talked about it and I told you my title. You were like, "Are you sure you want this title? Are you sure?" Like, you asked me more than once. And I was like, well, yeah, that's the whole point, is because people need to talk about it. It's not bad. Neither are bad words. It's just not. And I'm not saying go tell everybody how much you make or how many orgasms you had. I mean, but you do need to you do have to understand it, and you do have to talk with the people involved. And so, I love that you asked that. But at the same time, we've been through some things, right, with the book when it came out, because of certain words.
Yeah, right. And that's my media background, right? I used to be a radio talk show host, right? Controlled by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. There are words we are not allowed to say, right? There are, when you send out a press release, you cannot put that in the title. There's FTC rules, there's Associated Press rules, there's different guidelines and stuff that we have to, in the media, have to abide by. And so I just didn't want any doors to be shut for you. And we've just found ways around it, right?
Yep,
We've just found our workaround. And, and the fact that it's a spicy book, right? It isn't necessarily adult content. It's spicy, right? It's not racy, but it's spicy. I don't know if that's a clear jargon, but there are a lot of things that if you don't know, like even when we first published the book, we thought, okay, it's adult content, right? And we checked off the adult content book, and then later discovered, oh no, that hides it too, right? If the visibility. And so this has been a learning process for all of us. This was something new I hadn't ever encountered before, even though I've helped over 200 people publish their books. Like, this was a brand new thing for me. And but what I do know, right, is it's all, we can figure it out, right? I think Marie Forleo says it's all figure outable, right? Like, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to go through it together and make sure that you're just being showcased in the best spotlight ever. And I think we even had different iterations of your book cover, but I think what you landed on, nailed it. Like, just totally nailed it. Well, we've been chatting for quite a long time, and I think we could go on and on forever, but let's make sure that everybody gets a copy of the book. What else do we want to make sure that we cover that we didn't share that's super important for you to include in this interview, Jen?
So honestly, the spicyceo.com/checklist, you're going to get the 10 profit killing habits to break before burnout. And then you're going to get a link to, if interested, buy the book on Amazon, or you can just search on Amazon. But that way, you're, like Angel said earlier, you're going to get some freebie information too. I love giving and want to make sure that you guys have the information and the resources to be able to get things done.
And you also have a Facebook community too, a
Yes.
community that they get to plug into, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not just, hey, come here. Like, she
Yeah.
is a giver. She's got an incredible community and lots of different resources, especially, I mean, if you just want to be more profitable, like, who doesn't? Like, I might be profitable, but I want to be even more profitable, right? So if you want to be more profitable, check out her book. It's super fun. Check out her community and go to thespicyceo.com/checklist. And then if you need a guest, right, you're looking for guests to interview, maybe a book for your book club, somebody, a speaker for your next event, your small group, your big group, Jen is available, and she is spicy and she is hot to trot. And I will tell you, an audience favorite. The topic alone, right, just brings in, it brings the crowd. They come for the topic, but they stay for Jen because she's just darling to be there with. So the spicyceo.com/checklist. Sorry, I think I jumped the gun. I think you probably had a couple more things you wanted to share. So close us out, Miss Jen.
Oh, you're good. And that Facebook group is called the League of Spicy CEOs, because I'm not the one and only. Y'all are, everybody, y'all, there's my Texas coming out, are spicy CEOs too. And it's just getting in the room of those. It's something that I add value. I don't sell in this group. It's always giving value, wanting to build that community, because we need that. Especially if you're a solopreneur, you need a community of people that get you. They've been there. They understand what you're going through. I have a spouse that's W-2. He's learned over the years, but he doesn't fully get what that means to be an entrepreneur 100% of the time when your spouse is clocking in, clocking out type of a job. So there's just different things. We share stories, we share faults, wins, we celebrate wins. It's just stuff I'm super excited about. And honestly, if you guys are interested in implementing Profit First, or you want to know even more, you can go to my website. There's a lot more information on there. And you can also apply for a Profit Power Call, which is free. See if we're a good fit. But the checklist is a great place to start. And either way, I want to help you in however way I can. So I'd love to have that conversation with you guys.
I love it. I love it. Well, Jen, it's been super fun to interview you on our Hot Author Showcase today. My name's Angel Tuccy. Share your story. Write the book on it. Follow us at needaguest.com, needaguest.com. We'll plug you into our Facebook community. I think I do. needaguest.com. We'll plug you into our Facebook community so you can share your story. Right now, somebody somewhere is looking for you, and it's a story that only you can share. Right? AI can't write it. Nobody else can share that story. It is up to you to spread the word, create a legacy, and make an impact, an even bigger impact, by being the published author who wrote the book on it. It's been my honor to hang out with you today, to interview Jen, our spicy CEO. Check out her book and follow all of our independent authors. Support them as you would want them to support you. I'm Angel Tuccy. This has been tons of fun. Thanks for hanging out with us. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Angel.